Samuel Lester wasn't your everyday waiter. Picture a guy who treats every customer like an old friend even if they're dressed to the nines or wearing beat-up jeans. Now imagine one simple act of honesty that not only costs him his job but flips his entire world upside down. In just a few moments, everything he thought he knew about life is challenged. Could a forgotten wallet really be the turning point? Get ready, because this is the true story of how kindness can open doors you never dreamed existed. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon at the Grove, one of New York's most cherished restaurants. Soft jazz filled the air, mingling with a gentle clink of cutlery and hushed chatter. Samuel Lester, who'd been working there for years, moved about with practiced ease. Every table, every smile, every small moment of connection meant something to him. He believed that every person deserved respect and kindness. Samuel wasn't rich or famous, just a regular guy with a heart as big as the city itself. He'd spent countless shifts serving a mix of local regulars and out-of-towners, always with his trademark warm smile and genuine interest. On this particular day, as the restaurant basked in a rare calm before the evening rush, fate was quietly writing a new chapter. The door chimed, interrupting the serene atmosphere. Samuel glanced up from his work. Entering the restaurant was a teenage boy, flanked by two sharply dressed men whose presence screamed authority. Even before they reached the host stand, Samuel's eyes narrowed not in suspicion, but in recognition. That young man was none other than Barron Trump.
Welcome to the Grove. Table for one?
Barron nodded curtly and proceeded toward a booth by the window. Samuel couldn't help but notice the subtle tension in the air as the two men, impeccably dressed in tailored suits, scanned the room like they were on high alert. Yet, to Samuel, Barron was just another guest.
Take your time with the menu. I'll be right back to take your order.
Within moments, Barron barely flipped through the menu. His eyes already set on his choice, he spoke in a low, measured voice.
I'll have a cheeseburger and a Coke, please.
Coming right up.
Samuel turned and headed towards the kitchen, his mind already on the next task. But just as he was about to disappear behind the swinging door, a stern voice stopped him in his tracks.
Samuel, wait up.
Walter, the restaurant manager known for his strict adherence to protocol, strode over with a furrowed brow and eyes that could cut glass. His tone left no room for negotiation.
Do you realize exactly who that customer is?
A customer? Isn't that what I do every day?
No, Samuel. That's Barron Trump. His father is none other than Donald Trump. This isn't just any diner we're talking about a high-profile guest here. Protocol is there for a reason. No friendly chit-chat. No personal interactions. You're jeopardizing everything by being too human.
Samuel felt a mix of irritation and disbelief. To him, treating people with kindness wasn't a risk, it was common decency. Yet here was Walter, barking orders as if loyalty could be measured by a lack of empathy.
I understand, Walter, but a little courtesy never hurt anyone.
Don't push it, Lester. You're on thin ice. Remember, no deviation from the script, or it could cost us dearly.
With that, Samuel's mind was already in conflict. He respected the rules, but his heart told him otherwise. And little did he know that very moment would set the stage for a series of events that would change his life forever. After a while, as the afternoon sun began its slow descent, the pace at the Grove subtly shifted. The restaurant, now filled with the soft glow of early evening light, seemed to hum with quiet expectation. Samuel, ever vigilant, continued to work with his customary calm, even as Walter's warning echoed in his mind. As Barron finished his meal, eating his burger with an air of detachment and sipping his Coke with barely a glance around, Samuel noticed something amiss. When the young man gathered his belongings and prepared to leave, there, on the seat, lay a small black wallet. It was easy to miss in the rush of the evening, but Samuel's eyes caught it immediately.
Hey, you forgot this.
Barron paused mid-step. A look of surprise, tinged with a hint of embarrassment, crossed his face as he turned back toward Samuel. The two men locked eyes for a brief moment, a silent acknowledgement of a small act of decency.
Thanks. I really didn't notice that I left it.
No worries. Happens to the best of us.
But as Barron gathered his things and made his exit, Samuel couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to go terribly wrong. From across the room, Walter's eyes had fixed on him sharp, disapproving and cold. The silent tension in the room grew thicker. Samuel felt as if he were being silently judged, not just by his boss, but by the very fabric of the establishment.
You've crossed a line, Lester.
And with that, the gears of fate began to turn, setting in motion events that would test Samuel's integrity and resilience. Later that evening, as the dinner rush subsided and the once lively restaurant settled into an uneasy silence, Walter summoned Samuel into his cramped, dimly lit office.
Samuel, sit down. We need to talk.
Samuel, his heart pounding and his mind racing, took a seat in the stiff chair. The air felt heavy, charged with an emotion he couldn't quite put his finger on.
What's going on, Walter?
You're fired, Samuel.
For a long, agonizing moment, silence reigned. Samuel's mind struggled to process the words. Fired? After all the years of hard work, dedication, and genuine care for every single customer?
Fired? Just like that? Why?
You broke protocol. You engaged too personally with a high-profile guest. This isn't a charity, it's a business, and you jeopardized our reputation.
Samuel's heart sank. To him, the act of returning a lost wallet was nothing more than an expression of basic human decency. Yet here he was, being told that his compassion was a liability. The office, the restaurant, even the city lights outside seemed to mock him with their indifferent glow.
But I just did the right thing. I didn't do anything wrong.
That's not up for debate, Samuel. You're done here. Pack your things and leave immediately.
Samuel stood slowly, his eyes damp with disbelief. With a heavy heart, he gathered his belongings. Every step he took out of that door felt like leaving behind a piece of himself, a piece that believed in honesty and kindness above all else. Outside, the cool night air hit him hard. The city seemed to whisper a cruel irony. Sometimes doing the right thing can lead to the worst consequences. But even as doubt clouded his mind, a spark of hope still flickered deep within him, a hope that one day the universe might balance the scales. The next morning, Samuel found himself in his small apartment, sitting on an old, creaky couch that had seen better days. The silence was overwhelming as he scrolled through countless job listings on his aging laptop, each one promising a fresh start, yet failing to ignite any real hope. Then, amid the monotony, his phone buzzed with an unknown number. With a sigh and a lingering sense of resignation, he answered.
Hello?
Is this Samuel Lester?
Samuel froze for a moment. The voice on the other end was commanding and unmistakable. Could this really be happening?
Yes. This is Samuel. Who is this?
This is Donald Trump.
Samuel's heart skipped a beat. For a moment, he wondered if he was dreaming. Donald Trump, the name echoed with power and influence.
Mr. Trump? I don't understand.
My son Barron told me what happened at the Grove. He said you returned his wallet when he forgot it. I also heard that your manager fired you because of it. I find that absolutely unacceptable.
Samuel's mind raced. The memory of that fateful day, the hurtful words, the cold dismissal, it all rushed back in a torrent of emotion.
I only did what I thought was right. I never expected.
Listen, Samuel. I'm tired of good people getting punished for doing the right thing. I need individuals like you, people with integrity and compassion, to be part of my team. I have a position available at one of my properties. I want you to consider it.
Samuel was silent for what felt like an eternity. The phone line crackled, and he could almost hear his own heartbeat echoing in the quiet room.
A job offer? From you?
That's right. Think about it, Samuel. You deserve to be recognized for your honesty. My assistant will be in touch with more details. Just say yes.
And just like that, before Samuel could muster a reply, the call ended. He sat there, staring at his phone, the weight of the decision pressing down on him. Was this really happening? Could one act of kindness truly rewrite his destiny? Days turned into weeks. Samuel's world, once shrouded in uncertainty, began to take on a new shape. He found himself stepping into the gleaming, imposing lobby of Trump International Hotel, a building that sparkled with marble, gold accents, and an air of unyielding luxury. The transition from a modest restaurant to this grand establishment was surreal. The hotel was a world apart. From the moment Samuel walked through its revolving doors, every detail from the polished floors to the intricate chandeliers spoke of opulence and precision. He was soon introduced to his new role, guest relations manager. Not only was the salary 3 times what he had earned at the Grove, but the respect and acknowledgement he felt from his new colleagues were unlike anything he had ever experienced.
I never imagined a single act of kindness could lead me here. It feels like I finally belong somewhere.
In the weeks that followed, Samuel dedicated himself to his new job. He greeted guests with an authentic smile, remembered their names, and went the extra mile to ensure that every visitor left feeling valued. Every day, he was reminded that sometimes doing the right thing opens doors you never even knew existed. One evening, Samuel received an invitation that made his heart race, a private dinner with none other than the Trump family. The night was set in an intimate dining room, draped in soft lighting and filled with the murmurs of polite conversation. Samuel's pulse quickened with both nervousness and excitement.
Samuel, you really didn't have to go out of your way that day. But you did. My dad always says, people like you, people who do the right thing, are a rare find.
To Samuel Lester, a man who reminds us all that true kindness is never wasted, no matter the cost.
As glasses clinked and heartfelt applause filled the room, Samuel's eyes welled with quiet emotion. In that moment, he realized that every hardship, every painful word, and every setback had led him to this point. A simple act of returning a lost wallet had rewritten his story, proving that even in a world driven by power and reputation, integrity still had a place. So here we are. Samuel's journey is a reminder that doing the right thing isn't always easy. It might cost you in the short term, but sometimes fate has a way of rewarding those who stay true to their values. Samuel's story isn't just about a job lost or a life changed. It's about hope, resilience, and the power of one simple, kind act to create ripples that can transform an entire life. Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever experienced a moment where one small decision altered the course of your life? What did you learn from it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and share your story. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories of real-life triumphs. Remember, kindness always finds its way back. Thank you for listening, and remember, sometimes the smallest actions have the biggest impact. Stay true, stay kind, and keep believing in the power of change.